though this is a repeat, you can always go find my, I think it's week 26 of these Pyramidion videos, but I'm going to do a couple more with some different loadouts here. So we're going to start with the Titan. I'm doing this a lot to learn some video editing, so I'm just kind of playing with things for each video. So, as you can see here, I'm using, I used the, yeah, this is what I used, the full strike. I switched off to that hand cannon thinking maybe that would be better for this, but I decided to go back to that Traveler's Judgment. I think I switched to later, but not really necessary to use your super right here. You can just kind of use a grenade and primary. My thought is that I can probably have it back up when I need it. I think there's enough time when you're doing damage there, when killing this first couple sets of enemies, that you can get it back. Especially with the reduced cooldowns, so that's what I was kind of counting on. So we'll see if it works out here. Again, we just want to. This fight is all about the patterns of the walls and the safe spots. I really hate this wall. See right there, looks like I got shot through the wall. I really just don't like this fight for this strike, and I'm still a little salty from I was trying some 60k runs last night and just died to some rather horrendous crap over and over again. But yeah, here this pattern's pretty similar for all the characters. There's not a whole lot of variance. This fight kind of forces you to do this. Use these walls, listen to the shots timing. Those guys will hide behind that wall, so sometimes you can toss a grenade from the other side there to clear them out. Because I have run over and then got shot as I'm jumping across, and then there'd be a couple guys there and I died. Again, using sight lines to head glitch him. You can use this close spot here. Since I'm using a shotgun, I'm going to try to get in here, try to get him to start stomping me so he doesn't throw down some flame. This spot can be kind of dangerous sometimes, as the flame can be hard to get away from. I usually have better luck at the wall, but although that kind of changed yesterday, we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm just, just killing time here, getting some damage on him. I don't have my super up, so this is going to be a little tricky here. Although, with proper wall placement and grenades, and with this shotgun I have, I'm not as worried. That was the other reason why I burned it at the beginning, because I knew I was going to have this shotgun. And this is the same shotgun. So pretty good to make this part a little safer. And like I said, when you're getting the boss, you can get a lot of damage on him early on. And I figured maybe at the end when he rushes you too, when I have my shield up, I could use it too if I still had ammo left. Or you could always switch off later in the fight if you want to. But along with the new update, I haven't really noticed much change from the update, to be honest. Although one thing I did notice is this plate doesn't seem like you can activate it earlier. I'll find it. I'll show you later on my hunter. I actually had to back off the plate and not be able to get both spawns active, so that I can get the super on both sides. On most cases, though, you want to activate it one at a time here. I'm just gonna try to take out a few of them at the start here, bide some time, get my super up. Since I don't have a rocket, yeah, I'm just gonna try to stay safe here a little bit until my super comes up. Toss some hammers over there. This is one of the more challenging parts, the second set of plates, because of all these guitars. Yeah, definitely good to get your super out, because you'll get it back by the time you need it to use it on the boss again. There's no real need to constantly super the boss in these first sections. You can do plenty enough DPS with the primaries. You can use that close path to create a sight line there. Get out, no need to rush this. You can use, if you don't have a wall, you can use the left. You can glitch his weapon out sightline wise by positioning him slightly to the right of the left of the wall there. Again, since I have the shotgun, I'm gonna run up here to this close thing. Usually if you wait here long enough, he'll come up on you. You just have to be careful when peeking not to get shot, and also to the shotgun actually does work pretty well on this fight. I was actually pretty happy with it. I'm actually gonna you can always do the word clip once you run out of ammo and get some rockets for this later stages of the fight, since you don't really get close to him. I'm trying to decide what weapon to switch to. Get my work on. Getting myself in a bad spot here. Luckily, with the Titan, I have the wall, so I can walk off one side. But yeah, no need to move from this block. To remind you, there are 2 wall spawns. This block stays here for both of them. So you can pretty much, as long as you don't get hardcore flanked, which does happen, they will rush up on you quickly. You can jump over the block to your left and kind of seal yourself in. I'll show it on the Hunter video, I believe. I got a little bit pressured and I got scared because I got picked off once. They got rushed me while I was in a minion. It's, I'll point it out here in just a second. Yeah, you can also move over here if you really want to. And you do kind of want to be over here eventually, but not yet. I'm just getting the heavy. Back to this spot because it's better for the time being. Again, because there's 2 wall phases here, where this block is here. I decided to run this strike with some of the new powered up weapons. They did okay. Vigil and Swing definitely good. Some of the other pulses are pretty good. I used a energy pulse on one of my other characters. Scout rifles are a little better. Not great. Oh yeah, sniper here too. Snipers feel pretty good. The damage has been upped at least. Again, be ready for that. And don't get stuck on the stairs like I do. Be ready for that when you start damaging. The idea is you always trying to want to kill ads and clear out and get yourself ready before you start damaging him, because the wall phases are based on the damage you do. This one's kind of dangerous because if you try to hide too much, these guys will kind of run up on you. If you have a grenade, you can kind of seal off this stairway so they can't get up on you. I thought he was an exploder, or else I would have punched him. He kind of scared me a little bit. Yeah, this spot can be a little tricky. Like I said, get on the ads like as soon as possible. I'm gonna get some more ammo here. You don't have to do this, and eventually if they do patch this, you know, you just have to make do with primaries, but for now I kind of want to test out the snipes on him. The one good thing I have noticed about the sniper too is it does really stagger him if you hit your crits. It is pretty nice on this fight. This maximum with the snapshot sight too makes getting it on it really nice. Okay, before you get too much damage on him, remember we want to rotate around counterclockwise here and get as far over as you can, because the next walls are almost always going to be counterclockwise. So again, we want to stay as far counterclockwise as possible. Again, if we take damage here, you know, heal up before you start damaging him again. If the walls go down, you'll see in a later clip, if the walls go down and you're damaged, especially very late when you break him, it can be really, really hard to deal with. This spot is also a little tricky because it's so thin and such a weird angle and right next to the spawn. These spawns can be really weird. I like to get away from it as soon as possible. And it's much easier to fight from over here. This kind of angled wall here gives you cover from a couple different angles, and it gives you a little bit of time to get away from some of the exploders. I don't know if you can run directly over here though, because I think there are some ad spawns, so it's easier to get to that first wall, kind of gather yourself, take out a few of the ads, and then move over here. Once you get over here, yeah, I'm gonna need more rage. That Traveler Judgment was pretty fun throughout the strike, but on this last part, you just need a little bit more range for these harpies. Yeah, and they will try to, they can, if you're not quick enough and you try to hide too much, you know, the ads will kind of rush up on you and can pinch you. And if you get stuck being pinched, and flames come in at a weird angle, or they teleport up behind you. This is one of the main reasons I hate this fight, is the RNG of the flames. And I swear sometimes you're pretty far away from it and it still burns you. Yeah, really annoying. Which makes it almost impossible to do this fight solo with Void Burn on, because the flames will just end up wrecking you. But also with Solar, he's going to shoot you down, really. Again, I'm just mostly picking up ammo here. I want to stay rotated that counterclockwise. And occasionally there is one more ad spawn. Now, the mistake I made is with the Titan, I don't really need to leave this spot. I can basically just keep damaging him here, and then as soon as he breaks, get as much damage on him as possible, and then until the walls disappear, and then drop my shield. This is a mistake I figured out later. I don't know why I kind of didn't think about this right now. See why I just didn't pop my shield right there? I have no idea. Luckily I made it over to this wall. This last block here. But unlucky for me is... Really? Yeah. Fail! Yep, I got stomped off the edge. So let's try that again, shall we? Okay. So, yep, I did lose my perfect run. Anyway, I did manage to get right back up here. This time I got a little bit more squared up shield. You can just sit there and burn it down. I didn't even throw my grenade down. Probably should have thrown my grenade down, but oh well, it didn't matter. Again, I figured out later that there's no reason with the Titan to go for that high block up there. I could just sit there and get as much damage on him when he breaks as possible, and then as soon as the walls disappear, pop my shield. He will run up, make sure it's perpendicular to him, he will have to run up on it, and you can just kind of wait for him to come, toss a grenade down. A little bit safer than trying to run for that shield sometimes. Anyway, there you have it, basic pattern. Watch your sight lines, rotate counterclockwise on the walls. Easy peasy, just figured I'd try it with some different weapons. And now we're going to get into the Hunter. Again, didn't quite get my, this is the build, I'm using the bottom tree here. Got all the way to this point here on my first try, and of course, yay, RNG Flame, in a place that I have no idea how I should even possibly get hit right there. I'm behind a wall, way out in front of him, crouching in the corner of it. Ridiculous. Sigh. Anyway, yeah, this fight and this map just kind of makes me salty. I really hate this fight. But here we go. Same basic idea with the Hunter. I don't even have super right here. If you do have to respawn and run with the super, just run over to this block and hand glitch over here for the first part. I'm using the high impact Future War Cult Scout to try something new. It was pretty good throughout the strike. A little hard on Nightfall sometimes because so many of the Vex crouch and cover up their crits, and this Scout is pretty slow when you're not getting crits. Just doesn't feel as good as the hand cannons, but it wasn't too bad overall. The increased damage is pretty good, especially at long distance. As you see here. I do pretty good here, but sometimes like getting these up close crits can be a little bit of a pain sometimes when they start crouching, and it just seems to kill so slowly sometimes. When you get really kind of overwhelmed, whereas Fire Devils and the Monononon and the I can't even think of the explosive rounds, primary scout. They all seem to still work better, even though they changed the way the damage is around a little bit. It still works better, in my opinion. So they made a lot more stuff viable, but not necessarily. They haven't really changed the meta that much in terms of the best weapons. You have a little bit more choice with the heavy now, I feel like. I came through this strike with the colony. The colony turned out to be really great through the strike. I used it actually mostly on the acolytes, and it's actually pretty good here on the boss. Not quite as much damage as rockets, but a lot easier to get hits on him, and definitely easier to use to save yourself in certain situations as well. You'll see works pretty good here later. See, this is the one part I feel like you can be safer on this wall from the flames, but sometimes not, and so sometimes you might be better off actually trying to bait out that stomp, because if he's doing the constant stomp motion, if you run forward to the wall, he won't really even shoot the flames hardly at all. But since this DPS was so slow on this scout rifle, I figured I would kind of stay back a little bit. But as you saw at the beginning of the clip, it didn't work out super well for me at the very beginning. Again, I'm trying to save my grenades because I know I'm going to need them for this beginning of this part. And I found out a little bit to keep yourself a little more safer. Maybe taking less direct routes to the plate too can sometimes keep you from getting shot if you're a little slow. See here, the reason I backed off is I could not get the plate to begin activating right away, and I ended up getting stuck there. I used to, before this, I used to get both plates, both spawns active, so I could, that's why I'm kind of waiting here, and I'm trying to get some health back too. This ended up being, so the new dodge is really nice. This super is really nice. Early in the strike, I took out a huge chunk of energies. But now I'm going to waste it because this spawn and this takes so long. And not being able to activate that plate early enough, I used to be able to finish off both of these groups with one super. Now I just have to back off and finish these guys from far away. But luckily, these are void, and then it takes out the Minotaurs pretty well. Not super hard to deal with if you get away from them. You can jump right. You don't even have to jump over there and jump back. You can just go straight from the other plate and find a good angled hiding spot back in the back and take this side out. If you're having trouble getting your super on them or killing them up close, you can do it actually on both plates. It's perfectly viable and go slow and get at a further away point so you can take out those Minotaurs. I get impatient sometimes and try to force things a little too much. So yeah, here, see, I probably should have done this right away from the beginning. It's fairly safe if you get him to come up on him. I mean, he'll just pretty much keep doing this. He will shoot you sometimes, and occasionally he will start to dump flame, but you can run away from that as well, as long as you don't try to necessarily hide in the corner from the flame. You're better off running out away from it and resetting. Again, though, this part we don't have to move. This big block right here is going to be our savior for a little bit. Although you're going to see here, I think I get rushed, and I think I need to, or I get scared of getting overwhelmed, because it happened before. After that, I think the round after that death, I don't know what I was doing, but I didn't get these flankers right away, and they kind of rushed up on me like this, so I panicked a little bit here. It may not have happened this round. Yeah, I felt like I was getting overwhelmed, so I got out of there. If you get... Yeah, this spot's okay. You don't have a great angle from the boss, but at least you can't get flanked from the side. You can hang out, get your health back, and force a few of these guys to come around at you one-on-one if you get stuck here. I don't know if he can fire flame there. He didn't, or not, you know. But like I said, you can pretty much just jump over and come back to the spot. And again, this is a, I think this is a rapid fire. This is the Future War Cult energy pulse. It has Dragonfly. Kind of hard to get to activate on pulse all the time. I think I was frustrated that I had to, that little head wag, that I had to bail out of this spot for a second. But I kind of freaked out a little bit because I did get rushed the previous time. Again, you know, don't rush your DPS on the boss unless you're really, really just trying to get a store threshold. You're better off healing every time you get hit. I thought those all missed. I was like, what in the hell? I guess I just realized they're delayed on him for some reason. I think they crawl up his body and then hit and blow up on him. It's kind of strange, but... There's a little peek hole you can use here. Looking around for some ammo. Running pretty low here. I think there's a heavy out here somewhere is what I'm thinking. So again, you got to be conscious of when you're damaging him, you know, when you're getting close to that threshold that he is going to move to the next stage. You don't want to get caught in a bad position where you have to run through some flame or run out in the open with loss of health right here. So see, so he shot me. I don't want to push the damage on him, because if that wall disappeared right there, he might be able to hit me a second time before I could, you know, get to this next wall. See, I got caught in the flame, but luckily he's already in the animation, so I could get away. But if I had taken that flame beforehand, you know, and then disappeared, I could not deal with it. Again, this wall can be a little tricky right here. It's not the greatest angle to survive. Try to get around it and get those far guys coming in, and then so you can kind of hold the stairway here and not get flanked. And you got to be careful because he will swing around, and while you're over here on the other side, you can get brushed up that stairway, especially by the exploder guys. It can really cause some problems for you because they can run up the stairs and run down on the left side there. You can get caught in some pretty crappy situations on this block right here. I prefer not to stay here too long, but it's not too bad, except if you're careful. But again, before I do too much more damage to him, I want to rotate around counterclockwise here. I want to be as far counterclockwise as possible, because that's where the next walls are going to be. So before I do any more DPS on him, I'm going to move here. Bad angle. Alright, now I'm in a good spot. Back to damage again. Again, like I said, this is Colony. It doesn't do tons of damage, but decent enough, and it's a lot easier to hit him. You can't dodge it nearly as much as like the rockets and stuff from that. Like I said, the sniper works here pretty good now too. Also, the line rifle, fusion rifles work pretty well too. So I know I'm in a good spot. I got my supercharged. I'm ready for the last phase. I know there's still one more ad phase here though, so I'm just kind of being cautious here. Just whittle him down until, you know, make sure you're ready to move to the next set of walls. Again, I don't really like this position of this wall. It doesn't give you a ton of cover. These spawns can be a pain to deal with here. He can kind of run up to you on weird angles here. Like sometimes he'll run all the way up here close to me, and the flames can creep around like that. So you don't want, I want to spend the least time there as possible. This angle is also really bad here. It doesn't give you a ton of space for cover. So I try to get out of there as quick as possible and get over to this wall. This little angled wall here just gives you the most options. Yeah, good old teleporting. Yes. And you can use the corner of it to keep yourself pretty safe to get health back. You do have to be careful if you've left some of those exploders around. You know, if you hide behind this too long, they can run up on you and create those pools even if you kill them. Put you in a bad spot. So make sure you want to keep an eye on your radar and keep you know, remembering where the ads are and get them down. Again, no need to do DPS on the boss until we've dealt with the ads and gotten ourselves out of this position here. So this is where it gets a little tricky with the other classes that aren't a Titan. And I have seen this staggered spawn that's happening right now. I don't know exactly what causes it. I think it's a certain amount of damage in a certain phase that will kind of stagger these spawns. So you do have to be kind of careful about that. It's usually just 3 goblins. It's not really big a deal. I think he spawns 1 more. Again, I don't know exactly what triggers it. I know if you do too much damage to him too fast, you can get a strange staggered spawn. I don't think after this one, after the 2 though, there are any more. I had another run where I ran out of ammo and was waiting for a long time for ammo to respawn, and I didn't get any more spawns. So I don't think it's a time limit thing, but I don't know for sure. So now I know he's getting really close to breaking. So I've got to, in this part, I can probably rush him and get him down right away with the Arcstrider super. It does enough damage to him. So I'm really, yeah, see, it's best on here to probably even, see there, I got another spawn, that's weird. But now I can use the dodge spam to get up on him. Got some masterworks, I got plenty of damage mitigation to live through this. And yeah, just get up on him. It does plenty enough damage and lasts long enough to not wait for the walls or for him to get up on you. Just get it out while you have full health and get over to him and just lay waste to him. You can get him down that whole last section you see there. I still even had some strikes left, so definitely love the new movement factor you can get on him a lot. Definitely makes this super a lot better. Pretty happy about that. Alright, and there we go with the Hunter, and on to our last one, the good old Warlock. Again, I'm going to do the Warlock this time with the Dawnblade. I started off with the Tarantula there, and the I'm using the top tree here for the little Icarus dodge. Bottom tree would probably work well for this, but for the strike, I was trying to get a lot of air kills with the Prometheus lens, doing the air laser. Yeah, so see, so here I broke him. This is a fail, and yeah. So that kind of sucked. I got burnt, and then it got stuck. Oh, this time, oh hey, the wall's already there. I'm gonna get there ahead of time. Cool. Now I'm really set up, right? Oh, you can guess the wall's not actually there. So yeah, there's some funky glitches with the walls sometimes. I've gotten shot through that wall before as well. That last little section is a giant pain in the ass if you're not exactly precisely ready when he breaks. So Got a little unlucky the first time. Caught some flame and then the walls disappeared right away. And I got rapid fired down before I could even get to the walls. And then, well, I got a non-existent wall, so that was cool. Yeah, this strike, irritating. But anyway, back to the same pattern with the Warlock here. I get some air shots, get my grenade back. I was actually pretty impressed with this build. It's actually pretty fun now with the speed. The dodge cooldown reduction is nice. You don't have to take that risk. I kind of knew how long it was going to take to get that plate open. Again, I'm going to be pretty cautious here. I've had a couple deaths already and I already wasted a lot of time on this strike, so... I'm also using a... I think this is the future war cult. No, this is... I think this is the future war cult. Pulse rifle. I think the other one was a different one on the hunter. I'll look again. Yeah, see, there's always one guy that hides over there, so you do have to be careful when you're getting back over here. Again, I probably could have tossed a grenade on the wall and got the guy hiding behind the wall. And you can tactical crouch him, confuse him. I'm sure it's working. I'm sure it's tilting him. Again, I feel comfortable using this wall most of the time, although I have gotten caught in the flame a couple times. Here again, it almost happened to me again. But I feel like you should almost always be able to do that with the angle that that's in, but sometimes, as you saw at the beginning of the Hunter vid, some RNG flame gets in a weird spot and you can't get away from it. Either expose yourself to his rifle or burn, which sucks. But again, you can slide up to that wall and get him to do the stomp bait on this part. And this part of the speed bonus I definitely like. Nice, some Warlock skating, definitely feel a lot better. Makes the other two Warlock classes without Blink a lot fun to play. Yeah. Don't need to burn my superhero. I've got Rift, a grenade, and a Tarantula. Again, no need to worry about the plate until you get the ads down. In a super hurry here. I don't know, I had a tendency to always be trying to stand on the plate at the same time, and it's really unnecessary. You just kill everything first, right? To get the plate. And then no need to run over there until we get these down. Yeah, pretty terrible aim on there. I got blocked by the wall, but I was a little afraid to jump up and throw it for fear of getting shot. I probably could have timed his the sound a little bit and jumped up and threw him instead. Don't see anything on the radar. I think I got most of it. And immediately slide around here, get your health back before you get back out on here. So this is the left glitch I was talking about. So one thing you can notice is he actually shoots to the middle of your body. So that's why sometimes you can be at an angle where his gun is fully visible to you, but the shots will still get blocked because he's actually shooting downward toward the middle of your body. And here it's flame grenade makes this pretty quick work for this. Could have done that in the first one, but I wanted to save that, make sure I had that grenade up before that second set of plates there. I guess there's a couple ways you could probably do it. You could probably throw the grenade and then use your super to kill the first Minotaur, and then maybe some long range weapons and a grenade to kill the second one. probably works either way. Again, this is a little safer with the Warlock because if you start to get overrun a little bit, you know, I can always Healing Rift. Like so. And so Strike is pretty nice now. The reload and then you get the inner accuracy. I used it during the Strike a little bit and it was pretty nice. I had the Future Reward Bolt Hand Cannon here with the timed payload. It's decently strong. It's interesting. It's not... feels different than the Better Devils, but it does feel pretty strong now. It seems like they balanced the damage on a little bit, and it does feel like a high-impact version of Better Devils. You just don't get as much AoE from the explosion. But it does seem to do pretty good body damage with the explosion. I'm using the new Go Fast to be able to go pick up stuff and not die. How nice is that? Although if he hadn't flamed, he might have been able to shoot me a second time. That might have been really dumb. I don't know. The sensitivity on this is not quite like a sniper. It took me a second. I miss a lot of these shots because I'm flicking really weird with it at the last second. Dodge. So again, the biggest threat right here is I want to get these, I'm trying to do jump shots with the timed payload. Actual works pretty good with this build because you can kind of get a hop as the payload's blowing up and get your air kill. But the little exploder guys are the biggest threat to you here, and the elites, the orange bars, if they get up too close to you, can be a giant pain as well. And you can always miss your grenade and get a guy teleporting behind you. But see, pretty strong. I mean, I took an orange bar out there with, what, a couple of shots. He had almost full health. A little slow, reloading and firing, but it's kind of a fun alternative to like a little bit of a slower weapon than Better Devils. Again, it's the Future Rorco Hand Cannon. It's a high impact with delayed payload, I believe, timed payload. So it's a little bit different than explosive rounds. It basically gives you half the damage up front and another half on an explosion a second or so later. Again, it works pretty cool with this build because a lot of times I can fire at a guy and do a little hop, and I'll get my air kill to help power up my grenade. So the reason I'm frustrated there is, again, another wall glitch. I should have a set of walls here to my right. It's not there. Luckily, with my new speed, I might be able to actually get here and not die. That's happened to me before, and I couldn't get across that gap without dying. But with the and this Future War called Pulse that I have right here does have, I believe it is lightweight, so I do believe I get a movement speed bonus with it. So when I whip that out and Titan skate, or Warlock skate, I can go pretty fast, so I can actually get places pretty quickly. This is pretty nice. Alright, so I'm back to this point again. No fake wall up there, so hopefully I'm going to try to get myself in a good position here. Secure the ads. Again, like I said, you can use, as he rotates around, you can rotate around this block. Don't necessarily stay in that V. You can get yourself kind of, if you stay too much back in there, you can get yourself kind of in a weird position. Ads will kind of come up on you really fast. If you stay in this kind of back corner right here, you can kind of move in and out of it on the other side of it. And then retreat back into the V if you need a little more time. Alright, so I'm going to try to gather up here a little bit of ammo just to make sure. And so I'm going to be really careful here. Again, you saw what happened in that very first bit. I took a little bit of damage from that flame, and got stuck with half health trying to run from the wall. So I'm going to try to be really careful as I deal damage here to him to break him. Alright, so I took damage now. I really want to make sure I'm healing up. Alright. Since he rotated that way, I'm going to try to use my new speed to get over to this wall, and it worked. Cool. So I found a new option here, depending on where he's at. I can run to this. Oh, hey, look, I can speed back to you now. He's going to sit in my grenade, and we're going to finish him off there. So there we have it. There's all three, and again, same basic pattern, same as it was a couple weeks ago. Definitely like a couple new changes, really help a little bit. The speed on this Warlock is so nice. I don't feel super slow, and I can actually use the Dawnblade now. You can also do this with Nova Bomb and Devour, obviously, but the speed also works on the Stormcaller as well, so all three classes now are very viable for this stuff. You can get away fast and keep yourself alive, so there we go. Till the next one.